This year, 2020, we're observing Al-Quds Day like no other. As we sit in our homes during this global pandemic, it is no excuse to abandon the Palestinians on this unmatched occasion. Many people are viewing staying at home and altering their regular routine as a burden, and allude to social distancing as being quarantined. But brothers and sisters, using such a term while the majority of us are blessed with a home, food, and running water is doing the Palestinians a major disservice. The Palestinians have been quarantined in a fraction of their land, being split between the Israeli-controlled West Bank and Gaza Strip for 72 years. Generation after generation, this vicious cycle of immorality continues to spiral. Over 5 million Palestinians have been forced to the edges of their land, while the remaining 90% is completely controlled by the Zionist Israeli regime. The Palestinians were quarantined decades before this or any virus. We think we're struggling, but the Palestinians don't even have the slightest essential resources to guarantee their survival. They have little to no access to food or water. Many have lost their homes, and the majority losing family and experiencing irreversible trauma. The reality is the Palestinians have already lost their land. The Palestinian territories that everyone always refers to are already under Israeli occupation and surveillance. The land we have left is losing its Palestinian stronghold daily. In fact, according to multiple reports, Israel is currently holding talks with the U.S. about their plans to annex the West Bank. Such a report must urge us to never waver our support for the Palestinians and their right to their land and livelihood. We cannot even afford one word not spoken against the Israeli regime. Their disgusting behavior deserves to be exposed whenever we get the chance. Although Al-Quds Day is a day of empowerment and hope for the Palestinians, its purpose, I believe, is not being served. In order for the Palestinians to gain their rightful land and lives back, it is our continual responsibility to publicize the apartheid of Palestine. The world has turned a blind eye to this conflict and chosen the more convenient path. They've neglected the Palestinians and moved forward with their lives. But such a mentality is subliminal to that of the Israeli regime. With many leaving the innocent Palestinians to die, some of the world's most notable figures have spoken out against the injustice imposed on the Palestinians. Mahatma Gandhi, who led the civil resistance against the British colonization of India, once said, quote, "Palestine belongs to the Arabs in the same sense that England belongs to the English or France to the French. It is wrong and inhumane to impose the Jews on the Arabs." Additionally, Albert Einstein, a Jewish physicist and scientist, once said, quote, "It would be my greatest sadness to see Zionists do to the Palestinian Arabs much of what the Nazis did to the Jews." Such statements from these iconic figures prove that we are witnessing nothing of a biased nature. These prominent non-Muslim leaders spoke publicly about the Palestinians without connection to them by ethnicity or religion. Their only similarity was their ability to see the injustices around them. The ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinians is becoming more and more apparent to the Western world. As people are coming to terms with these realizations, it's our duty and responsibility to educate such individuals. Educating the open-minded is the only way Palestinians can gain true peace, prosperity, and justice. We should always keep in mind the words of South African icon and anti-apartheid activist Nelson Mandela, when he once said, quote, "We know all too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians." Thank you.